thing to come across in a debate. Let me show this clip right here.
America, death to America.
Why would you say death to America? You're in America.
This time with U.S. imperialism.
I fully expected Trump to bring more of this forward. Is there more hatred in our country than there was 3.5 years ago? The answer is an astonishing, yeah, there's a lot more hatred. There's a lot more hatred in our world. Death to America. There's an example right there. He's not bringing out these death marches that are taking place on our soil that are backed by the far left liberal fringe. He doesn't bring up the point that Israel, Palestine, from the river to the sea. What does from the river to the sea mean? And why does the left fringe of the party support that? And the proof is in Columbia University, Harvard, all these Ivy League institutions, among other institutions that have had these anti-Semitic charges after Jews on campus where they have to be locked. Jews have to go into safety. And professors and presidents have lost their jobs over this. He didn't bring any of that up. He didn't bring a single university anti-Semitic march up that took place. He brought none of it up. He did not bring up the fact that Kamala is celebrated as the most liberal senator in the U.S. Senate when she served. That was not brought up. He also took up a lot of the immigration over and over, but he didn't point to any emotional facts. Let me show you this clip, for example. This is a news clip he could very easily brought into the debate through his explanation of it.
This morning, an illegal immigrant man is behind bars accused of raping a mentally incapacitated teen. Enterprise police arrested Pablo Mendoza after getting word of a crime happening last month. Sheriff Scott Byrd confirmed to WDHN that Mendoza is in the United States illegally. Authorities say that Mendoza had sex with the teen and the teen could not consent due to her being, quote, physically helpless or mentally incapacitated. Mendoza is charged with the rape in the first degree and is currently being held in the Coffee County Jail without bond.
I mean, Trump could have went name by name by name of victims and of illegal aliens, illegal criminals. He could have went name by name. Then he could have pivoted and said, this kid here, Mendoza, once he goes to prison and he wants to become a woman and go into a woman's prison, you want to fund the transgender surgery. It's all over both liberal and conservative media. He could have easily pivoted the atrocities into her policies. He didn't do that. Big miss. Here's how you handle where Kamala kept saying, I am prosecutor, hear me roar, the attorney general, that I thought she did a great job getting across. Here's how I thought Trump would have handled it, because it's already been precedented, and this is what destroyed her first run for the White House. Let's go to this clip.
Senator Harris says she's proud of her record as a prosecutor and that she'll be a prosecutor president, but I'm deeply concerned about this record. There are too many examples to cite, but she put over 1,500 people in jail for marijuana violations and then laughed about it when she was asked if she ever smoked marijuana.
And I inhale. I did inhale.
She blocked evidence. She blocked evidence that would have freed an innocent man from death row until the courts forced her to do so. She kept people in prison beyond their sentences to use them as cheap labor for the state of California. And she fought to keep cash bail system in place that impacts poor people in the worst kind of way. And the people who suffered under your reign as prosecutor, you owe them an apology.
Boom. Where was that? On to the next clip.
To me, fact-checking Donald Trump at least a half a dozen times, didn't fact-check Kamala Harris one time, even when she was obviously saying things that were untrue, like the Charlottesville lie about a lot of fine people on both sides. It's been debunked by Snopes, for God's sake, and 100 other places. But she had to say whatever she wanted. She didn't get any follow-up questions either. Like, what are you actually going to do about the economy? What are you actually going to do about the border? Oh, I've got this opportunity. Anyhow, how did you score it? And was it 3-on-1? Because that's...
Yes. True. Like I said at the beginning of the video, we knew it was going to be a 3-on-1 competition. Let's continue with that interview, because at the end, it makes a great point, and we're going to tie in the abortion conversation that I believe Trump got beat on.
The way a lot of us saw it, I mean, it was pretty embarrassing how bad ABC went after him and let her get a pass.
It was not a great night for ABC News. David Muir and Lindsay Davis are two of their high-profile anchors, and I don't think they came through. I had a column in The Hill yesterday where I presumptuously kind of provided some in advance suggestions and advice for how the debate moderator should behave. And not that they expected them to read it, but they didn't take any of it, because part of the thing I think is that debate moderators should not become pseudo debaters. The two candidates are right there on the stage to argue with each other or to point out each other's problems or defects. And you don't need the journalists, reporters, anchors to come in there and try to put their thumb on the scale for either candidate.
True. I mean, it is a big loss for ABC News, and it is a big loss for our media. It is. Okay, they lost and Trump didn't win. Their loss doesn't negate the fact that Trump didn't bring facts to the table that are very apparent to those of us that participate in the consumption of current events. But a lot of people don't. Okay, a lot of people don't, and that's what this debate is for. It's not for her base. It's not for our base. It's for everyone in between. And yes, media once again gets exposed. But what's that do for us right now? What's it do for us right now? Yeah, the media lost. What's it do for us right now? So back to that clip.
They jumped in over and over again. For example, Lindsey Davis jumping in on the abortion question, saying it's not legal to kill a child anywhere in America. Listen, Donald Trump didn't pull that out of thin air.
Okay, what the news correspondent anchor there is talking about is when Trump was bringing up abortion and at-birth abortion. And then a moderator jumps in and fact checks Trump. And by the way, she was inaccurate. She was tricky. There are no laws at abortion, but they were going for them. That's what caused this whole Supreme Court case, gang. We got to understand what's going on. Here's what he's referring to.
Vice presidential pick says abortion in the 9th month is absolutely fine. He also says execution after birth. It's execution, no longer abortion, because the baby is born, is okay. And that's not okay with me.
There is no state in this country where it is legal to kill a baby after it's born. Madam Vice President, want to get...
I'm sorry, that is a demonic moderator. She's demonic. Virginia, the former governor of Virginia, is on record in interviews stating he supports late-term abortions and abortions after birth. He's a neurosurgeon for pediatric care. This was a doctor, and why it was so much press on this was because of the at-birth conversation. State of Virginia. This is why Youngkin, one of the reasons why Youngkin won governor of Virginia. But prior to Youngkin winning Virginia, gang, this whole at-birth termination of a baby, being comfortably sedated, as you can see in the article I posted, it's all CNN. This is CNN. This isn't Fox or some conservative outlet. CNN reported this. Youngkin won the governorship. Part of the reason was because of the backlash of late-term 9-month and at-birth abortions. That was expressed by the current governor, a neurosurgeon for pediatric care, and how they would make it comfortable and give the family time to decide. Is there deformities they don't like in a baby? And this just goes off the rails. So the reality is Trump didn't bring any of this up to the point of specificity, specifically pointing out who in what state. Then there's other states that I don't have time to go into right now. On top of that, look at gang. The abortion conversation he could have nailed. Safe, rare, and legal. That was Bill Clinton. That was every Democrat when they're going after abortion conversations. Safe, rare, and legal. Since abortion has been legalized in the United States, over 60 million children have been aborted. And a majority are minorities. Why do you want minority children terminated? What's that all about? He could have went there. 60 million abortions have taken place. And the reality is the at-birth abortion situation created a Supreme Court case. Late term and at-birth abortion, states trying to pass that is what created the Texas Supreme Court to send it back to the states constitutionally. And constitutionally, the argument is 100% state. And then we can have the argument over, well, how does somebody get from state to state that can't afford it? We can have that argument for safe, rare, and legal abortions. he could have also brought God into the room. The reality is 60 million dead fetuses. It's not okay with the Creator. And he could have brought that in the room. Look at, gang, this is demonic. At term and 9-month abortions is a demonic behavior. It's killing a baby. You can call it abortion and put another word on it, but it got demonic. And we are a nation under God, and we need to repent in that regard. And you can disagree with me all you want. You're an atheist. You don't believe in the God as our creator, the God of the universe, the Father of Jesus Christ, the Holy Trinity. You don't have to believe in him. But I am a believer, and it got demonic, and something had to be done about it. And I'm sorry that I upset half the nation. It's legal by state. And we're willing to sit down and talk about incest and rape in these rare occasions and how we deal with them. But we have to own the fact that it's constitutionally a state's issue, number one. Number two, it's demonic. Where your party was taking abortion was demonic. Gang, how many people did I talk to have no idea that the governor of Virginia wanted 9-month and at-term abortions that are for abortions? They have no idea why it got this far. It's because of how far they took it. No one's having that conversation. And Trump could have had it on national stage. You took abortion in your party to at birth in 9 months. No, I'm not okay with that. I'm okay with 60 million children dying and being aborted off of a lifestyle and a pop culture that has become the abortion in America. I am nervous about our redemption as our country. I believe in Jesus Christ, my creator, and I believe that we are terribly representing the kingdom of God on earth, and we are a nation founded under God. Done. Move on. And I'm sorry you don't agree with me. I'm a biblical fearing person. I'm a hypocrite, yes, because I'm not perfect. But the reality is, this is so blatantly obvious that it's a demonic realm that I had to do something about it. And it was only when you all pushed it to at 9 months and at term. That's it. And I don't think anyone could really have issue with that.
So she just started by saying she's going to do this, she's going to do that, she's going to do all these wonderful things. Why hasn't she done it? She's been there for 3.5 years. They've had 3.5 years to fix the border. They've had 3.5 years to create jobs and all the things we talked about. Why hasn't she done it? She should leave right now, go down to that beautiful White House, go to the Capitol, get everyone together and do the things you want to do, but you haven't done it and you won't do it because you believe in things that the American people don't believe in.
That's how he ended it. It's how he should have started it. That's what it should have been in the middle. And he should have also added, you shut our country, you and your party did not want to open our country back up. You were forced to open it up. Red states open before blue states. You're taking credit of an economic back to normal when the economy was shut down. We're not okay with that. The reality is you are all about keeping us shut down as long as possible, funding people to stay at home. And your party has created inflation because of that policy among our oil pipeline. And I think he did an okay job with the oil pipeline, but he should have drove it home more. And I might even have had a bag of rolls and a bag of beef on the side of me. She had notes. She was taking notes. I would just had those two and said, this bun and this beef create a hamburger. That's up 50%. People are hungry. People are starving. People are dying. Our country's divided. You share your joy. You tried to have me assassinated with your rhetoric. And America is better than that.